Dead Pioneers released their first album September 16th, 2023. And by February 2024, over 500,000 original streams with no marketing, no publication, no help. I'm joined by lead singer Gregg Deal. How are you, Greg?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So with that first album, and you've got another coming out, but you were saying that you might not do a second album because it was really tough to get that first one out independently.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work, and just trying to raise funds and kind of get things where they need to be. And two of my guys, when we started this, I only had one guy that was out of state. Now I have two guys out of state. And so you have to raise money to get people into place. And just pulling all that together is super stressful.
Abe came in to help fill in and then ended up being a part of the band.
Yeah, so we have two guitarists, and Josh was the one guitarist. He had a death in the family, and it was happening literally at the time when we were recording, and we just had absolutely no way to do it without another. We just needed someone to fill in. So Shane, my drummer, knew Abe and asked him to fill in. He practiced for like 2 days, came in and really added so much that we were all just kind of like, should he be in the band? And so, yeah, that's how he came to be in.
Talking to you as a band member, but that's not the art you originally started with. You're a visual artist. You've done public speaking. There's so much. The band is kind of an extension of the art that you have done.
Yeah, I think that's a bit important too, because we're not like a bunch of old guys trying to find relevance in our 40s in music. It is really connected to a 20-year visual art career, and so I really approached this as another art medium and just happened to surround myself with some incredible musicians that are just really talented, that really felt the vision of everything that we're doing. And it turned into more than I ever expected or even had prepared for. But I've learned in the creative industries to, when something is working, to really just roll with it and sort of watch what happens and be present.
And so a new album's coming out April 11th. You guys are going to be opening for Pearl Jam. You got 2 shows in Hollywood, Florida, April 24th and 26th, and then 2 shows in Atlanta, Georgia, April 29th and May 1st. How awesome is that for your second album's not even out yet?
Yeah, that's a lot. I know Jeff Ament from, he's actually purchased a painting from me, and I've done some work with him, with his organization, the Montana Full Service. And
that's for the skateboarding park?
That's right. He's building skateboard parks in sort of low-income areas in Montana, which obviously gets out to reservation areas as well. He had a big event this summer in his hometown in Big Sandy and out of South, and I didn't know it was like an audition, and so we kind of got the call on Pearl Jam and just pretty overwhelmed by it, because we were already set to go to Europe for 3 weeks with Pennywise, and so it's just a lot happening all at once.
Yeah, you're going to Europe right after the Pearl Jam show. So you're UK, Netherlands, Germany. This is huge.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I'm just trying to keep up. And part of me is like, this band, everything is happening quickly, but I have to remember sometimes too that, I've got a national visual art career that's sort of part of this. And, all those connections and the legitimacy of being a working artist that has, been able to do a lot of really, really cool things professionally, that's a contributing factor to this as well.
So is there a chance that you'll have a part in making one or maybe all of the posters because Pearl Jam does a poster for each show. So are you getting in on that at all?
I'm making one poster for one of the Florida shows. Yeah. We worked that out and make that happen as well. We're doing that for sure.
Oh, that is awesome. So how long do you plan to take with that? Do you know what's going to be on the poster, or what's the process there?
Yeah, it's pretty open in terms of like Pearl Jam giving the artist the opportunity to sort of interpret things however they want to interpret it. I'm sort of in conceptual stage, which is a lot of how I work. So I'll sit around and think about it for a long time and then sit down and just knock it out, usually pretty quickly. I think first mock-ups, they want to see our first mock-up here soon. So, just working through it and trying to figure it out. Because we want to do something that's relevant, and that's cool, but also relevant, I think, to the venue. And we're playing at the Hard Rock, which is owned by the Seminole Tribe, which I think is something that I'd like to try to capitalize on for sure, because that's a pretty cool setting.
Absolutely. And so I see now that you're with Hassel Records. How did that come about? And was there other options for you?
Yes and no. I mean, we were kind of shopping some things around here in the U.S., and Alternative Tentacles had shown some interest, but I think Jello Biafra, which is his label, former frontman for Dead Kennedys, was feigning interest, and I didn't really read it. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Daniel Carter, who's on BBC Radio in the UK, and he asked if he could share the record with some people that he knows, which happened to be Hassel. Our streaming numbers were good enough, at that point, that they were interested, and we talked through it, and it ended up really being kind of a sweetheart deal. But that also gives us an opportunity to be able to have an international leg as well. I mean, I love the United States and North America for what it's worth, but to be able to have things in Europe as well sort of sweetens the deal.
Well, your music is totally different from what I heard, like telling stories that people might not know and educating us really on some things that aren't talked about. It's so great to have your band and opening for Pearl Jam, getting to like those huge crowds and sharing your stories. I'm so glad I had the chance to talk to you today, Greg.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I'm excited too. Thanks.